Hey, good morning, everybody. This is the Freedom System with Rick and Lee. But today you have a special guest. We have a special guest, Jeri Sheats. Good morning, Jeri.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good, good. When I first met Jeri, it was a couple of years ago. And at the time, I think Jeri was like, you were about a third or fourth year agent and,
Probably. Yeah.
and absolutely crushing it. And in my mind, I still have this picture, this little tagline for you. You sell 65 homes part time. Is that true still?
It was about 50,
It
but
was about
yeah,
50.
yeah,
So 50 homes part-time. So when we're talking about achieving freedom, when we're talking about what it takes to be successful and the brass tacks of actually getting into production, I think Jeri's one of the top to learn from. And Jeri, just I know you a little bit, but other people don't know you at all. Can you fill us in a little bit about who you are?
yeah. Yeah. Not sure about how far you want to go back. You know, I've been in real estate. This is my sixth year now. In my other life, I was an architectural designer, so I drew a lot of custom homes, did blueprints for custom homes, developers, that sort of thing. Kind of in the residential home space, right? I wouldn't say I was in real estate, but
Right.
uh, yeah, kind of made the move into real estate really just because I saw an opportunity to grow really just on a much larger scale, right? And kind of the same reasons why I think everybody gets into real estate. You want the freedom, you want the um, free to make your own schedule, make an really an unlimited income. That's really what we have the opportunity to do, right? So stepping into that, obviously, just like everybody knows, once you get in, it's a lot harder than you thought. Um, but no, I mean, other than that, I've got a family. My wife Pam. We have an 8-year-old daughter, Charlotte. We have a 4-year-old son, little Jerry, the third. Um, and really my focus has always been on maximizing my time with them, having the young family, and we like to get out and do a bunch of things. So, really is how can I do more in less time so I'm free to do what I want, right? And that's really the pain that moved me towards trying to compress time. That's, you talk about taglines, and it's like little phrases and things you think about. Compressing time is one of the big ones for me. It's like, how can I get more done in less time and be able to afford time wise and monetarily what I wanted to do with my family and my wife, right? Yeah,
Absolutely. And I think, and you've been a master of that. We don't have, more than 20 or 30 minutes. I'd love to talk to you for 8 hours today if I could, but I know you've got other things you're doing. So, what's a typical day look like for Jeri Sheats? Like, how do if you wake up on a Monday or a Tuesday, like,
yeah.
what are you
So
drinking?
it's changed over the years, right? And I'll kind of touch on that in a second, but really it's getting up early, 4 or 5 a.m. Typically it's 4 a.m., going to the gym, knocking my workout out. I don't like that. I'm not one of those people that gets all excited about getting up at 4 a.m. and going to work out. I think it's terrible, but you have to do it, right? There's no other time. The office hours are really once my kids get off to school, I have the luxury of taking them to school every day, and that's something I don't take for granted. My wife's a teacher, so she's out the door, getting and I get them ready, lunches packed, out to school, all that jazz on my own. It's mayhem, but I love it though because it's something that most fathers don't get the opportunity to do, right? So they're in school by 8:30. I'm back home, and my office hours are 9 to 12. And that's what I like to call my money making activities, right? Between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. Anything lead generation, follow ups, any stuff that's going to grow my business, right? The rest of the day is set aside for appointments. If I got an appointment or a showing or whatever it may be, it's always in the afternoon. And you just kind of rinse and repeat that every single day on a consistent basis, really, in without going too deep, because we are on limited time, about how you spend time with your money making activities. It should be lead generating, following up, keeping your CRM clean and up to date, and using it, right? Using reminders and that sort of thing, staying on top of it. And it's always easier to keep up than it is to catch up, right? So if you keep up on it, it doesn't take that long, right? It doesn't take a whole bunch of time to do these things and to stay ahead of your business, to keep your pipeline full and moving. Something I've talked about deeply in the class I've taught within EXP, which is no more. I had a good 2+ year run at it, and we're not doing it anymore. But we're trying to figure out another way for me to be a part of that scene. That's really it. Other than that, I want to be done work by dinner time. I'm at a space now where I'm not taking on any more buyers. I have a buyer's agent that's doing that. I want my listings to grow, and even if that means taking a step back in production, which it has. Last year was probably 2021 intentionally didn't hit icon just because I wanted to take the step back. That's the position I'm in with EXP, with the other revenue streams that we have. I was able to do that. So now I'm able to look at my business a little bit differently and how I'm going to grow next, which, okay, I've got my income about the same, but I'm working a little bit less. Right. And now I can help someone else grow their business.
And that's freedom, right? First you design the freedom to have time with your family and to work out and to have dinner with your family, to spend time with your 4-year-old, your 8-year-old, and your wife. That was the first level of freedom. The second level of freedom was, hey, let's have the income I have to do what I want to do. And then the third phase of freedom was, how do I get out of production, right? Everybody's goal is produce more, produce more, produce more. And now you're like, hey, wait, what if I could produce less?
Hey, Rick, I've got like a really bad, for some reason, you're coming through real mechanical. Like, I'm not sure if that's on your end or my end. You're hearing me okay?
I can totally hear you okay. And on my side, I'm streaming just fine. So, yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay. It's cleared up a little bit now.
Okay. So hopefully it's just a temporary thing.
Yeah. No, you're all good now. Sorry about that.
That's okay. So you've achieved the freedom to produce what you wanted to produce, achieve the level of production you wanted to achieve, and cap it, right? You said, hey, if I'm doing 50 homes, that's the money I need to make, and then I have time for my family. But now you've achieved the third level of freedom. I'm just kind of riffing this, but the third level of freedom, which is I can produce less and make the same. And that's really cool, because usually you have to either double your production, double your price point, or find a new income stream, right?
Yeah. And I think it's something that a lot of agents think about, but they're too afraid to say or to admit that I don't want to sell 50 homes a year for the rest of my life. And people could take that the wrong way, but I'll just be honest. I mean, who wants to do that, right? Who wants to miss dinners and all these things, right? Like work, it's a lot, I'd rather not do that. I'd rather help someone else grow to where they want to do, and of course, income's important. We need it to do whatever we want to do. But, I'd rather have my free time. I can't buy more free time. I can't buy my daughter to be 8 one more year, and like, I think about that a lot more often than I admit. So that's really the driving force in it. And of course, without, you want to keep tooting EXP's horn, but we have that opportunity to do that. So now, again, you said it really well. The entering into this third phase, right, of how I can grow my business, and it's not necessarily growing my business. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it makes sense to me. And we spend on Fridays, we do a Freedom Friday where we talk about revenue share. And we had Gene Frederick on talking about the new way to retire. We could spend a little time on that a little bit later in this show, but let's go back into the dollar producing activities, right? Because a lot of the people watching the show, they're coming on for free real estate coaching, and they're like, hey, EXP is all about recruiting, and I want to produce, and I'm still in the production mode, and I'm going to chase the 50, 100 homes. And that's totally cool, because we'll help you do that. In those money-making hours, because you got to pay the short-term bills as well as the long. I look at EXP as like I have an opportunity to build my long-term wealth and my short-term. Short-term is real estate production, long-term is revenue share, and all the other ways we do. So if we're focusing on short-term production for right now and saying, hey, we got to crush Q1, inventory is dropping precipitously. 2022 is going to be even more competitive than 2021. What is your Lee pounds the phone? He's a FSBO expired guy. What do Ricky Caruth, the circle prospecting? What's your sort of money making activity? When you're not doing just follow up, but when you're actually prospecting, what's your niche?
It's circle prospecting, 100%. And just because I have a pretty large sphere, I have a pretty large network of business owners and that sort of thing. So I'm just going to lean into that. I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel. I'm not going to try to do something different just for the sake of doing something different, right? So circle prospecting is huge for me. And right now, referral business, right? I'm at the point now where I can count on 30 plus pieces of referral business a year. But yeah, it really has to be pounding the pavement or pounding the phone. That's, I say all the time, any lead generation works. They all do. You want to door knock, you want to do open houses, you want to circle prospect, you want to cold call expireds, FSBOs, you want to throw $5,000 a month into Zillow. It all works. It all will get you conversations with people. Now, how are you going to continue that conversation? That's really, I think that's going to be the big separator. Or how consistent can you be with it? We're not going to circle prospect around a just sold one day and expect to, all of a sudden get 5 closings on the books for the next 2-3 months.
Right.
It has to be done every single day. And it's choose 1 or 3, 1 to 3 that you can do well, you could be a student of, you can continue to learn, and be excited about doing. And it has to be on a consistent basis, 5 days a week. For me, it was an hour to 90 minutes on the phone. All right. I'm going to, how much can I get done in 90 minutes on the phone? How many conversations can I have? How many appointments can I set? And making that a challenge to myself. Right. And that's me. I understand certain people would they have the bankroll or they don't want to speak on the phone, cold calling. They want to do something else. That's fine, but do it consistently,
Right. So let's just role play, for example. So I have a listing, 850. We're just went under contract for 927. You can believe that, right? So we actually turned down a 941 because we just didn't think they had the appraisal gap. So we had offers 91,000 over list on the 850 listing. Very blessed. And we thought, when I helped the investor find this home at a 400, we thought exit strategy was going to be 650. So here we are at 927. You start circle prospecting around that under contract, right? Jeri Sheats has that listing. He calls up and he says, "Hey, what do you say on the phone for 90 minutes?"
Yeah, so I'm gonna use a tool like RedX or something like that, where I could look at the closest. If we're in a neighborhood, let's just say, right, a residential community, I'm gonna look at the closest. If it's large enough, 100 homes. If it's too small, the closest 50 to 75 homes. I'm gonna call every single one of them. And I keep my conversation super short, super to the point. I don't need to explain a bunch of fluff. Really, it's the same as if I'm calling anybody and it's, "Hey, this is Jeri Sheats with eXp Realty. Just sold a house for $90K over list price in a day. Have you ever put any thought into putting your house on the market in the next 12 months? Right? Or something like that. But I want to keep it short and sweet, under 10 seconds. There's a statistic out there that someone has decided whether they want to continue a conversation with you in under 8 seconds or something like that. So why speak all these things when after 8 seconds they've tuned out? When this guy stops, I'm going to hang up on him, right? And I'm going to expect a no every single time. I'm going to expect to get hung up on or cursed at every single time. And I just want to hurry up and get to the next one so I can get to the yes. You know what I mean? So I hate the word script. But if we're going to just talk about scripts, right? Keep it short and sweet to the point. I would call expireds and, it would literally just be like, "Hey, this is Jeri Sheats with eXp Realty. Do you have any intention to put your home back up on the market this year?" And that's it. And if they say, "Yeah, we're going to list with our other agent. We're getting ready to put it back up." Okay, great. Good luck. No. Okay, great. Good luck. Yes. Then we continue the conversation. Right. But I don't need to talk any more than that. I just need a yes or no. Right. I mean, it really is that simple.
For you, it's sand at the top of the funnel, right?
That's it. Yeah.
Just number. The more numbers you can put at the top of the funnel, it's a numbers game. And if
we're in a math business.
100 wants to sell, you got to find that one.
Yeah, we're in a math business until we've entered into a relationship with the potential client or the client that's in your downline. When they say, "Yeah, you know what? We just wanted a break. We let the listing expire. We're probably going to put it back up after the holidays are over." then I want to continue that conversation with them. We're going to try to develop some sort of relationship, some sort of rapport, right? But my main focus at that point is I need to get in front of them. I need to get face to face in front of them for 10, 15 minutes. That's it. Because I know I'm confident enough in myself. Once I get face to face with you, we're going to have a good rapport. We're going to have a good conversation, good relationships. And then it's going to move to your pipeline, and then you're going to follow up, right? So it's a numbers game until you have that first meeting. And once you get a yes, once you get a conversation going, as soon as possible, you need to set an appointment. Even if it's for nothing other than just, hey, let's just meet face to face. I'm sure you've heard me talk about a number of times when I first got started, I went really hard into FSBO open houses. Like, I would call for sale by owners, offer to hold a free open house for them, and yada, yada, yada. We won't go deep into that. But my whole intention was I just want to get in their house and talk to them. You know, even if it's just, let's just continue this conversation face to face. That way you feel more comfortable with me, you know, show me around. You know, if it's not a great fit, then cool, no big deal. How about tonight? Just 15 minutes. And that's it. You know, I don't want it to be next week. I don't want to say, well, we'll call again tomorrow. Set the appointment quick. Way you got them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm going to be in your neighborhood this afternoon.
That's it. You know, I always say, don't go any farther than the next day. I got today at 6 p.m. or tomorrow at 1 p.m. Which one works best for you? You know, get them to choose one. You know, all those little sales nuances. And that's what we are. We're salesmen. But once you get into that relationship, they're not a lead anymore. Then you are in a relationship with them. Then it's time to get personal, show them you care, give them that your customer service, whatever that is to you. You know, that's how I look at it. And I know my way isn't the way. My way is just a way, right?
But it's a very effective way. And what I like about EXP, and because I was an independent broker for 16 years prior to joining, and I didn't have anybody to learn from. Right. And so all these franchises started approaching me, and, you know, you can own part of this franchise and you can join this office and you can lead this team and all this other stuff. I'm like, but I'm only going to be as good as the local leader. Right. And so you say your way is my way. My way is my way. And it might be for some, it might be for others. But the great thing is we can reach out to 73,000 agents, find the top producers, and find a way that is our way.
That's right? Man. I'm too quiet about this stuff, but I had a new EXP agent. She was with someone else. She came over to EXP in Florida, I'm pretty sure. As soon as she joined, she hopped into one of the classes I was teaching, and I get this Facebook message, a friend request and a Facebook message from her that night, and she was like, "Hey, I watched your class. I love what you said about the for sale by owners. I reached out to one. I got an appointment for, it was like $1 million house." And she was like, just so excited. And she's kept in touch with me over the past month. She just Facebook messaged me the other day and closed on that deal, $1.1 million. Nice. Like, that's life-changing money for somebody, you know, a younger, newer agent that closed. I mean, what's the commission on 1 million? I mean, goodness gracious, you know, that's huge. And she's like, oh, it's all because of you and because of what you taught. It's like, it's not. I just said something that triggered in your mind, and you took one little tiny thing, applied it to your own life, and now you see it's possible. You know what I mean? All she did was take action, and that's really it, right? But you're right. She didn't learn that from herself locally. She was able globally to collaborate with these agents from all around, right? And taking advantage of that live training is just massive, you know, because we're not limited to just our little franchise here in Smyrna, Delaware, you know?
Right. And we have over 60 hours a week of live training taught by people like you who have icons, who are now, as part of their stock award, giving back to the community and teaching how to sold new homes. We have iConversations every Friday where people say, hey, here's how I just sold 40, 50, 60 homes. And, you know, I sometimes joke with people, like, you say, hey, there are all these sorts of ways to prospect, right? FSBO's expired, circle prospecting, postcards, Zillow ads, Facebook ads, Google ads, all that. And I've come up with one. I said, if your method is going to be toss a message in a bottle, throw it in the ocean, let it wash up on the beach in California so you can find that message in a bottle method, we've probably got someone who does that and does it really well, right?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how obscure your method is. We have 73,000 agents crushing it.
Yep.
right?
Yeah. And that goes back to what I was saying. It's not really what you do. It's how consistent and committed are you to it, you know? And there's just like a handful of things that principles, right, that we as real estate agents should hold on to, and the consistency is one of them, because it all works. You know, like you said, if I throw a whole bunch of enough bottles into the ocean with a cool message in it, I'm probably going to reach somebody. You know, it's how consistent am I at it? You can't do one open house and expect to crush it with open houses.
No.
Can't door knock one day and expect to change your life. Like it, enjoy it, be a student of it, get better at it, be consistent with it, have a solid follow-up plan, set appointments. That's it. Math business, relationship business. And then all of a sudden these things start compounding and you start closing deals, and then it's life-changing, you know?
So let's touch a little bit. Let's have like a little bit of a sneak peek of a Freedom Friday. If we were to have you on a Rev Share Day where we're talking about building a group, you're so into production. You spend a whole lot of time with your family. How is your group growing? Like, is it? Go ahead.
So, like most agents, I think I wish I would have spent more time being intentional about that growth 5-6 years ago. But I had my head down and just worked and just did production. It's growing now, and Delaware's a small state. I think we have a couple hundred agents here, but it is growing, and I've gotten into the thousands of dollars, $4 or $5 grand, and I apologize, we're not supposed to talk numbers. It'd be a per month in revenue share, so I'm right there on that cusp of it being really life changing. And life changing just with income and like what it's going to cover and that sort of thing. But yeah, I'd say the big thing is I wish I would have taken advantage of it sooner, but I'm doing more with my group now. Like, actually, we're meeting later on today at 4:00. The first Tuesday of every month, we all get together face to face, break bread, talk about goals, talk about different topics, kind of help each other, right? We're like, okay, now we're this decent sized group, and let's help each other grow, and we're not in competition with each other, So I think that's huge too. On a local level, we call it our little Delaware family tree. So we're able to collaborate and help each other. And, hey, if you have an agent that's interested in coming on, we are all helping each other bring someone else on. If you have a question in a transaction, we're there. If you have different goals or want to try different things, all those sorts of things. Scott Deputy calls it a non-traditional team. Right. And that's really what it is. The way he kind of puts it is perfect, because we are a team, but we're not a team, So that's kind of where we're at, but it is growing, and I'm trying to pour more into that than I am my own personal production, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because you're shifting your production. You're getting 30 referrals a year, which means you have great relationship follow-up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you're circle prospecting, I know circle prospecting can mean one of two different things. Circle prospecting can either mean around a just sold, just listed, just expired, just whatever. But it's also within your circle and your sphere of influence.
Yep.
When you're circle prospecting, are you in your sphere of influence, like your circle of influence, or your circle around a home?
So it will really depend, and it really depend on if I want to target a certain area or not. Mainly, I do lean heavy on my SOI, because I know that's where the majority of my business comes from. So, social media and conversations I have with folks, and my wife being in the school district, she's a teacher, and I'm heavily connected in the school district, and I've got a really big influence there. And I've done a lot of business with other educators, admin, that sort of thing. So when something's working for me, I'll lean into it and I'll pour into it more, right? Instead of trying to do different things. I focus a lot on our own community. EXPCon 3 years ago or so, I was in somebody's breakout, and they said, grow up, not out. And it just that stuck with me big time. It's okay. Yeah. I'd rather have a larger share of the business here in my own town than cover the entire state. And I focused on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Become the local go-to. Like, everybody's going to use Jeri. If you're in this area, you use Jeri.
Yeah, and it's helped. I mean, we have community Facebook pages, and I get referred just insanely numbers of times, right? Throughout, somebody's looking for a realtor or looking for help, one thing or another. So it works, right? Then yeah, I become the go-to for some other large business owners in the area or educators in the area, and that just builds up that referral base, right? And again, that's the position I'm in, right? If someone else might be in a different position, a different area, maybe if they're not such a small town, tight knit place, might be a little bit more challenging. So you just go a different route. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when you're growing your group, kind of your long-term income, is that coming through proactive calls, or is that just people like asking you like, hey, Jerry, how's this EXP thing working out for you? Can you share a little bit about it?
It's a little bit of that, a little bit of people reaching out to me. It's also mainly just agents I've done business with, and I won't just cold call any agent and chat with them. I don't want to call it the wrong way. I don't want just any agent either, right? And I have a kind of my own rule that like if I won't sit down and have dinner or a beer with you, I probably won't ask you to come to EXP. You know, it
Yeah.
might sound bad, but you got to have some sort of rule, I guess.
Well,
So
you're growing your family, you're growing your business, and you're bringing people into an organization that you're going to pour your heart into.
yeah,
And you want to pour your heart into people that you care about, right? And you want to
yeah,
grow
for
a
sure.
relationship with, right? This is a long-term relationship.
Yeah,
And people think you're just trying to recruit anybody. It's like, no, I want to recruit people that I want to change your life, right? I want to
that's
change your
exactly
life
it.
for the better. And you need to earn that.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to say. Is I feel sometimes agents that I might not really know that well, they think it's, well, he's just saying that because this is how he's having. It's not. If I reached out to you and you're with some other brokerage, and I'm like, hey, let me share some things with you, how it's changed my life. It's really because I want to help you. And I tell people this all the time, like, this is going to benefit you a lot more than it's going to benefit me. I know you think revenue share and now Jerry just wants to grow his pockets, but what you're worth to me is a lot less than what this is worth to you, and how it's going to change your family. And it's genuine. And I think some people get it, some people don't. Right. But I really am genuine with it, and you know, as well as I do, and I've recruited an agent, they're worth $2,800 a year, maybe, to me. But what that agent's going to make with his production and with the possibilities coming over to EXP is tenfold of that,
Yeah. And every once in a while, you'd see me put on my glasses. I'm taking down a little nugget and tossing it in the comments. So
cool.
I love that one. Like, this is going to benefit you a lot more than it's going to benefit me. And I'd had Matt Moss, who's listening to it right now, and he's dropping comments. He mentioned one time, he's like, how do you get the shift away from, oh, this is all just about Rick or Matt or Jerry trying to make money.
Yeah.
And that was perfect right there. It's like, maybe it's worth $2,800 a year, right?
Yeah.
But for you, the increase in your production, your access to healthcare, your access to money off of mortgage and title, and getting wake up money from Brazil, it's crazy.
Yeah, it really is.
For most people, like in 2002, when foreclosures were going rampant, $500 a month would have saved about 50% of people from foreclosure.
Oh my gosh,
$500 a month.
Can you imagine?
If we can just redistribute some of this owner money, right? And that's the way Gene put it. He said, we just took the money that went to the owners and we made the agents the owners, and we redistributed the money to you.
Yeah.
So
oh my gosh.
The fat cat owner money and we give it to the agents, and we save marriages, we save homes, we save so many things, because
I never thought of it that way. That is so impactful. That, like, I got goosebumps. Like, I've never. You're absolutely right. People say, well, it's just $500 a month. That's not a big deal. I'm happy where I'm at. But like, that's your car payment. That's, a third of your mortgage. That, like, break it down that way. And like, is it a make or break for losing your home, losing your car? It's a statistic. Most spouses argue about money. Is it going to save your marriage? Is it going to, make it a little bit easier to breathe every month, because what's the average income of a real estate agent? I mean, it's like, yeah, if that, I mean, and, so yeah, $300 to $500 a month extra is pretty massive if you're making 40 grand a year,
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I've never thought about it that way. Thank you for that.
Well, I'm glad I could give you something. You've given me so much, Jerry. We hit our 30-minute mark. I know you got it. You've got other things you're doing. And like I said, I could talk to you for 8 hours straight. It's just been really nice to find a kindred spirit across the country.
Yeah,
We
man.
only touch base once in a while, but I follow you on Facebook and I keep up with you there. And so
I appreciate that.
I know you a little bit.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah, I know. Definitely like to have fun. Definitely like to make the most out of this life. EXP is 100% giving me that opportunity. And look, man, anytime you want to, want me to hop on and chat a little bit, I'm happy to do so. As long as I got the time, I'll definitely down for that. And hey, man, hopefully we can connect maybe in Orlando this summer if you're going to be down there.
That'd be nice. I'd love to see you in person. Hey, Jerry, if
Yeah.
people want to get in touch with you, what's a good cell phone to reach you?
302-293-9167.
Awesome. And folks, you can always reach me again at 303-589-2320. This has been Jeri Sheats and Rick Jansen for the Freedom System. We'll connect with you soon. Hope you got something out of this. If you need to reach out to either one of us for anything, we're open books. Text us first. We'll call you back.
Absolutely.
And yeah, God bless. Have a great day, guys.
All right. Thanks.